Wow. Anyway, right. So this is the MACD, right? It's composed of the MACD line, the signal line, and a histogram. The histogram speaks to the distance between the MACD and the signal line. So when it's green, it means the MACD is crossing back above the signal line. When it's red, it's below. The bigger those bars on the histogram, now it's not a real histogram, but Americans call it so I'm going with it. It speaks to the distance between them. When it's red, it's below the MACD is below the signal line. When it's got a bigger bar here, it means it's a bigger distance away. The bigger that distance, as you've been watching Rocky's show yesterday, then that speaks to the momentum on the short term because it's two moving averages and it's measuring the distance between the two of them. And if you look back, you can see that that distance wasn't as dramatic as it has been here recently. So we then look to price and see is price lower than it was at this previous low. And this is where you got that previous low in here. So we're dropping it on with a vertical line. And then this is where you got the next low on the MACD. And I drop it on with a vertical line. So that's how you would measure divergence when you compare this to the price. And then you would look for a signal. The signal you get is the MACD line crossing the signal line, which is happening here. And then you get confirmation when it goes through the center line clearly being that 0. So we might then also drop in another vertical line just after to see what price did at that point. It clearly hasn't done it yet, but you've got the cross. This is the cross coming up, and the cross would typically be in and around the low on price. So it's the 30-minute here. Let's go and look at price action alone at those points. Here you got a massive boost back up again when it went through the center line. You got the biggest ranging candle on that subsequent uptrend. You've just had the MACD put in its lowest level here. Price then nowhere near as low as it was previously, so that speaks to divergence. Bullish reversal divergence, so price likely going back up again. You've had the cross above the center line, signal line, and now you need to see it getting back above that center line. When it happens, you'll probably get another boost on price. That could take it to the previous high. If it's a very strong move, it would certainly be looking to challenge there in the first instance. That'd be back up around 153. That's fantastic if it gets there. Putting that in context, what is that? We'll go up to the 4-hour time frame, and you can see it's the top side of this downward sloping parallel channel that has been covering price action for a very long time. If it breaks out of that area, then you'd look for it to go and test the lower side of the gap at 170. And if it breaks on up to the top side, which it may well do, having broken this long-term downward sloping parallel channel, then you might be targeting at around 230. If all of that breaks, then maybe you've got a measured move expressed by the 50% of this channel, which would take you up to this target at 323. And now we go across to the trade spotting lines where price action ultimately goes to because it absolutely loves them. If it does even better, then it could go the full width of this channel, which point we drop this guy on, put that across the top side, and you'd be back up above $5. $5 on Lipson, very possible. That doesn't speak to the entirety of all possibilities for price, but it's a whole lot more exciting than what particular type of vanilla ice cream you're going to eat. And I think that really good advice for Larry would be to add some variety into his life and his live streams, not to take the questions personally, not to let them knock you off kilter so very bad, and just focus on your own objectives. Don't let anything else knock you away from your plan. And the plan here is to take this thing to the fucking moon. What a show this is. My God, it's so much better than what we could be doing right now. So this is 4-hour looking at price action within this downward sloping channel. Oh my goodness gracious me. We're all having a great day. Price action on Lisbon, post-market up 3.5%. This thing's amazing. It moves like a crypto, as Rocky said yesterday. I'd urge everybody to watch his video. It's fantastic. He does a good 40-odd minutes right at the start of the show, all about LivePerson. He is the person who created this amazing space for all of us live persons to make so much money on LivePerson. There's at one spot 98% there in the day to the top side, though it was up, 15-20% at some point during the day because it's the greatest stock in the universe and it does absolutely beautiful, amazing things all the time. And yeah, it's brilliant and we love it. So that 30-minute cross is very, very interesting. It's very, very positive. Price action's been in this trend. it's had a really strong reaction from the lows. Now, it was a question posed on Twitter to somebody else who looks at charts, and the guy's obviously not very good at it because he said it's had a weak sauce reaction from the lows. But this is an absolutely amazing reaction from the lows, really, really strong. The lows got an amazing reversal formation. It's a perfect reversal setup. It's goddamn obvious if you're an experienced trader like myself with a really good idea of what's going on a chart. And his next question to him was, well, what do you think is going to happen with GameStop? And he said, well, it's in this blah, blah, blah behind some paid thing, blah, blah, blah. And it's like he can't even give you his top level thoughts. You know, he can't even give you his surface impressions of something unless you join up to some paid thing. Like, nah, you know, you demonstrate the value of the paid thing with what you're doing with your own skills on the free side, right? People don't want to just pay something to get your thoughts on something. You're going to pay it and they're going to have to learn. You're going to teach them something. Like here, where we teach you to become really a good trader who acts on their own volition, understands the charts, can manage risk, and turn into a fantastic trader. You could be one of the future traders working with me when we've got a front door on Wall Street, a tower above us, and a big name on the side. And they will be in that, there will be ice cream, free ice cream for everybody, but there will only be one flavor of vanilla ice cream because anything else would be working way too tightly within a much too narrow set of options. And I want you guys to enjoy the spice of life, all the different flavors, not just different types of vanilla. So, Lipson, it's not vanilla. It's incredible. There's nothing vanilla about about ice cream. Sure, about LivePerson, there's nothing vanilla about it. Now, I would have loved Larry to talk about LivePerson. That he asked for questions ahead of his show, and by far the biggest engagement about any question he got was about LivePerson, but he avoided it resolutely. He had a determined focus on not answering anything to do with LivePerson. And he alluded to the fact that he can't talk about specifics with regards to GameStop. So is it true that Larry knows the potential in LivePerson, is aware of what could happen if he does open his mouth about it? Maybe he himself loves a little bit of LivePerson and has got some. Maybe. I think that there's a very strong chance of it because instead of addressing that question, which got the most engagement on his Twitter, which was being asked over and over again in his chat box, far more than any other one question, but he didn't address it. I think that suggests that perhaps Larry does actually know about LivePerson and its potential. Also, he's not yet ready to talk about it because he needs to have his ice cream, play with his little truck, and then I don't know, what was the next thing you were doing, Larry? I also heard when I started tuning in there that he addressed a question about where's the best place to spend money. Would it be on acquiring customers or acquiring companies? And let me put that to you that that's a false dichotomy. You buy companies so that it'll allow you to acquire more customers, either theirs already or their technology providing you with benefits to your own underlying operational costs, which allows you to then spend more money more efficiently getting customers or to make your current customers happy. It's about market share. It's always about market share. It's not about a false choice between acquiring companies or customers. The question is, where do you spend money to increase your market share? That's the question, and the answer will be decided not by one person, but by the board and all the different experts in their own field, which have got particular jobs within the company. So you're looking at LivePerson up 3.5%, you're thinking, where could it go to? And the answer is defined by those 30-minute artifacts we see on the momentum indicator. If you're also wanting to look at other momentum indicators, here's the RSI, and I'll turn off the drawings. We'll turn them off. You don't have divergence between these lows and the most recent previous lows. You don't have that because the RSI hasn't come back down that low, and price itself is nowhere near these previous lows. So it wasn't going to be there. If price was to make its way towards these areas, the RSI would be much lower than that previous low. The fact that there would be divergence would be obvious to everybody and their mum. And, you know, then their mum might be on talking about LivePerson and all the different things that are likely to happen on the stream here. If it moves to the top side, we see the RSI challenging the bullish control zone, which would suggest coming up equal with that previous high. It doesn't necessarily have to break that level. If it does, then you'd be looking for it to put in a higher high than just reaching the outline of that bullish control zone, push up into the top side of it, and then we'd measure the strength of that momentum behind that oscillation at the time. So that's what we're looking at. Short-term signals and where maybe LivePerson is going. If this MACD signal doesn't work out, that is to say, if the cross doesn't happen, right? Now, the cross happened most recently, and I don't need this on, so I'm going to turn it off. Cross happened most recently back here. So you've got divergence in that these two lines have made it lower and that the divergence between them is greater between the two lines themselves, which creates a divergence with regards to the behavior in price. You can see that also happened at the previous low, and that all comes in line with a trend. That trend line expresses another dimension on price, and it speaks to strength behind it right now. But that's not the only way it behaves. Sometimes it crisscrosses, takes a while to get back above it and confirm it, and then go through the center line. We'll just take a quick look at what happened there. That was the start of this uptrend. So when there is a little bit of consternation, you tend to see them fluctuate as you'd see down here. But when the important point to note about that is that's all happening below the center line. And if this was a high and it was about to break down, that might be happening back above the center line. So it makes absolutely no sense for a shorter to look at shorting it right now when they could just wait, do it up here, get much better bang for their buck. And because there's no incentive to short based on the strength of the momentum behind the price, then anyone doing that would have to be ridiculous. The price itself leads price, so if it does though break down, take out that prior low in at around 118, targeting 113, possibly come in and fill that gap at 99 cents, which should be then back at the Rocky Outcrop target. And boy, oh boy, there's a lot of reasons why that might be interesting to you should definitely check out that video. I would highly recommend it. Here we are on the hourly, where you've got a golden pocket retracement, 200 period moving average coming at 80 cents. It's also the prior monthly high and the prior weekly low. So what do we expect? We expect that to be support if price breaks down. Will it get as low as there? No guarantee. Lots of areas where it could test in between times. $1.99. That's a strong level of support too. It's obviously a very important psychological level, $1, and I imagine it would close above there. Is 20% a big move? Not for LivePerson. It can do that easily. So if it slips to 80, probably recovers anyway. Today, my friends, what a day it is. Today, my friends, my very good friends, today we closed above $1. That's the fourth day in a row. The fourth day in a row. So we only need to do it 6 more days. Those are 6 trading days. Before those 6 trading days are up, we will see the earnings for LivePerson. We'll see a Fed meeting with really important news coming. And so if that Fed meeting news is positive and LivePerson's earnings beat expectations or are at all surprising to the top side, then we'll have another reason within those 6 days to be extremely bullish before the de-risking happens, when the delisting notice disappears, at which point this thing will have so much institutional interest that it'll be back on the radar of an awful lot of people, and the smelly idiot who does Elliott Wave and tries to sell it in a course about GameStop will have egg on his face, and he shall be forever known as Weak Sauce, with his charting skills also condemned forever to be known as ridiculous. So, interesting stuff coming up for LivePerson and for all of us. Have you seen the latest memes? There was one exclusive to the Discord. It was absolutely banging. It's called LPSN Lorax. It was made by Owl, and you'll enjoy it. It's also very, very funny. Right, now, this is the section of the show where I read your ridiculous comments from the chat box. Let's see what you say. Tradespotting, do you work out? Yeah, I work out with the charts every day. I exercise with price. I exercise with options. I do fantastic work. And, wow, it's really showing. It's really beginning to show. Exercising keeps you healthy. It's a very, very good way of behaving. Something everybody should do. But the only way to exercise properly is if your contracts are about to expire If the premium you paid for them is meaningless compared to the money you're about to make on them, and you don't intend enrolling into shares off the back of selling those contracts, it's a very good way of acquiring cheap shares. If that break-even point is broken and those contracts are about to expire and you've got so much of a significant position, you think that it might also be noticed by the market and drive price to the top side. So there's a really good reason to do it. Most people shouldn't exercise. Most people should just sell their contracts and then buy shares. And if you've any doubt about what you should be doing, then you shouldn't have been trading options in the first place, you reprobate. No, I mean, these are complicated financial instruments. You could lose a lot of money. You up for losing lots of money? If otherwise, there's perfectly good charities out there. Shelterbox is a good one. I run this show. You could donate and support it instead of throwing your money to the market like that. Inichiro, 5 gifted memberships. Thank you very much. So yes, I exercise frequently with the charts. Do you like ice cream? Yes, I love ice cream. I love toffee and honey nut ice cream. I love all types of ice cream. It's all amazing, all of it. If someone gave me ice cream, I wouldn't complain. If I saw ice cream in the shop, I'd buy it. It's brilliant. I love it. Tradespotting. Is the saying true? Sell on the news. Would we? So selling is the news. Is the saying true? Sell on the news. The saying is buy the rumor, sell the news. Buy the rumor, sell the news. The concept behind that is that narrative driving price has ended because the start would be the rumor, the end would be the news. And obviously it'll depend on the context of the news. So if the rumor was Elon Musk is going to buy Bitcoin, and that was driving up the price of Bitcoin, and then it came out that Elon Musk had bought Bitcoin, then you might think, well, he's done it now, right? There's nothing more it can achieve at the current narrative than being noticed by and bought by the world's richest man. And he's now bought all of it. It's not looking like he's going to buy anymore. That would be the end of that event, and that cycle would finish and people would start taking profit. If the news instead is this thing is now investable, this thing is now a worthwhile long-term hold for people who don't have the magic we do and can see and have the insights we do to the charts. If the news is it's escaped a possible risk-on event, if the news is that the uptrend is confirmed and it's escaped those previous lows, that all of our TAs proved to be correct and this thing could go to the moon, and if that news involves it holding important support levels and confirming a bullish trend, then that isn't the news. That's not the news. The news is holy shit, guys. Holy shit, guys. How good would you call that? Let's see what happens next. And then we'll watch, right? Because that's an interesting way to look at that particular point you make there. I prefer to play with LivePerson than plastic trucks. Brad C, he knows what he's up to there. I have a truck. It's not a plastic truck. It's one of those, what are they called? Those famous truck makers that make toys. It's like Tonky or something. What's it called? Actually, though, you guys will know. It's one of these. It's worth loads. I got it because something bad happened, and my mum and dad wanted to cheer me up afterwards. So they took me to a toy shop and they said, "You can have anything you want." And on the way up to it, there was this big green truck in the window, and I said, "I want that big green truck." And they said, "But that's not very expensive. Do you want something else?" And I said I could have anything else I want. Are we going to stand out here talking shit all day? You're going to buy it for me. And so they got it for me. And now it's worth loads. I prefer to see because I know and understood the concept of appreciation, even back then when I was 1 year old. I see me, my buy LivePerson. Good decision. They're no friends of mine. Who are they? Who are they? Who are these losers? Cause your friends don't roll, and if they don't roll, well, they're no friends of mine. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Tradespotting, ice cream's like sex. Even if it isn't that great, it's still pretty great. Yes. Well, you see, right? You see, if that ice cream then thinks that the next morning it can just sit in your bed next to you and be all sticky and not want to, get up and have an interesting day, if it thinks that you're going to forego your life and spend it instead in bed next to the thing the next day after, right? maybe you have ice cream for breakfast as well. And the next day, it thinks that you're going to hang around in bed, like looking at it and answering stupid questions about what other types of ice cream have you had in your past. And, did you like any of those ice creams more than you like this ice cream? And, how would you compare it? Or like, just come on, just give me some answer. You must have some answer. Come on, I'm only, I'll not get upset. Just tell me. If it's that kind of ice cream, then, right, you'd rather go without. I'd rather go without, which is why I maintain such a slim figure and therefore I'm so desired by other ice creams in future. So it's all about moderation with ice cream. Buy the duds, sell the fuds. Buy the duds, sell the fuds. That's a nice wee one. Tonka, that's what it is. Tonka. Willy Tonka. It's like the ice cream. Tradespotting, do you wear wigs? Sometimes, yes, sometimes. Sometimes. On these fantastic shows, I do sometimes wear wigs. Tradespotting, are you AI or are you a live person? Yeah. I'm a live person. Should I take that personally? No, I think it's a compliment, right? It would be a compliment. Though I am much better. Shut up already! God, people outside beeping at each other. Get over it, eh? It's after 9 o'clock, so you're not actually allowed to use your horn unless it's some kind of emergency. And I can tell you that wasn't an emergency. It's somebody outside is a fat elephant's fanny. Yeah, when the ice cream starts nagging you about doing the dishes, it's like, no, look, you were in the dish. You ain't do that. You ain't do it. You were the one that dirtied the dishes, so you ain't clean the dishes and that. And it's like, no, I've got a dishwasher anyway. And what I'm doing, talking about. I got kicked out of the video I was watching and ended up here. Fantastic. That's fantastic. If only all videos did that all the time. Do you live on Princess Street? Where did that message go? And how busy is it? I live I'm just around the corner from Princess Street. Yeah, I'm about 100 yards from Princess Street. That is the shirt of a meme. This is the shirt of I joined the Russian Navy. This is my shirt. I joined the Russian Navy. I used to work in Edinburgh all the time. But in the cheese sandwich factory, we've got a big cheese sandwich factory down the road. That where Coronel have been. They'd be like Rocky's buttons. You know, they used to have loads of buttons, right? They used to have buttons factories all over Britain. All over Britain, they had buttons factories. Then the war, oh, that terrible war broke out. You know, the terrible war that the Russians won, Second World War, or was it the First War? I think it was the first one. And the First War, no, it's a big street, mate. And Princess Street's huge. And I'm not actually doxed. It's quite amazing, And I'm very, very skillful in that. And yeah, so they had all these button factories, and then there's this country called America, right? It's full of really divisive political opinions, and over there they also invented this thing called a zip, right? Because they thought buttons weren't good enough, they invented the zip, which put the on button factories out of business. Terrible, eh? And then all those poor button makers, they had to get a job in the cheese sandwich factory, and that's where we are now. All right, I'm back. Made a meme in 12 minutes, and I need a live person in my phone to boost those numbers up. You made a meme? Wow. Meowerica. I'll stand nearby, and eventually I'll hear him screaming. Eventually, yes. It's raining at the minute. At least it was recently. I don't know. I'd have to look closely to check. That bed sloth might have had him incarcerated. Oh my God. See, that's the thing. Sometimes you just wanted some ice cream and you end up in jail. That's terrible. Visited Edinburgh once. Everyone should visit Edinburgh at least once. Hello, T-Ball. It's in Discord, Jamie. Go and look at it. It's about Larry. Well, I'll look at it here on my phone, but no one will be able to see, though you will be able to gauge my reaction here, live person. My reaction to the meme. I take it it's like a picture meme. Here we go. I'm about to look at it, everybody. If you're not on the Discord, why are you a weirdo or what? There it is. 1 star on this one, and I'll comment Larry's post with it. Oh, look, it's got 4 stars and a green truck. Larry, the most frequently asked question among our viewers was about LivePerson. Please tell us what your thoughts are on conversational AI. I like vanilla ice cream the most. Look, a green truck, burr. Yeah, that's a good one. That's so nice. Sloths are wonderful animals. I wish I had a bed sloth. I met a sloth at Amsterdam Zoo, and the woman told me it was a red panda. And yeah, people talk shit all the time, even at zoos, it turns out. 6 guys and some ice cream is the way to go. 6 guys and some ice cream. I don't know if that would be the way. I enjoy my ice cream. I'm more the sort of person who would enjoy 6 different flavors of ice cream and just me. That's how I would look at things. Though I can tell you from experience that if you try to maintain a relationship with this ice cream over an extended period of time and you've got multiple flavors and they're all like, tell you they're happy jumping in the same bowl together, I can tell you that actually they're not, right? No matter how much they tell you they are, how much they smell and laugh with each other, they're actually not. They end up melting and then merging and then right, you just want to get a whole new bowl, right? That you just get a whole new bowl of ice cream. You just ditch all of it. Tradespotting, you already told us about the red pandas. They were actually red pandas. No, they were sloths. Yeah, they were sloths, but I was told they were red pandas, but they weren't. They were sloths, or else it was the other way around. Who cares, really? Whatever it was, I was right. The sloths were lazy, and the person in the zoo was a liar. You just go vegan. You get vegan ice cream too. I've had vegan ice cream. It can be really naggy. It can really nag you like so much. Vegan ice cream can just really get annoying after a while. Though it tastes great. Hi folks, sorry I'm late. Going back to the start. Ted Money, you were late. Somebody give that guy a row. Purple turquoise crowd surf. All righty. There were red pandas. You said that they put paws up. Only red pandas do that. Yeah, they put their paws up. No, every animal wants to give me a high five. Vegan ice cream with blue hair, no thanks. Actually, I had blue hair while I was having a vegan ice cream once. Yes, true story. Check it on my Instagram. Is that just an otter pup? An otter pup? I don't know. I'm going to go with I don't know, but I'll find out and get back to you. Don't forget to like. How's that, eh? How's that? Where can we find the charts that you use? Is there any chart programs that are free of charge that could be useful for beginners? Yes, there is. There's a free version of TradingView, which you can get using the referral link in Rocky Outcrop's Discord. Go server guide. It's in the top. You go to that left menu, and then you go to the top, and it's server guide right at the top. And then in there you've got referral codes, and then there you get links, referral links, which you should use for TradingView, and then you use the free version of it, which is what I use here when I'm using this thing. This wonderful charting software. It's brilliant, isn't it? Hey, we love it. We love it. We love TradingView. Now you're gaslighting us about Red Panda's typical Loku behavior. Hey, gaslighting. That was like word of the year last year or something. Gaslighting added to the dictionary, word of the year. I want to be on this council, this panel of people who choose the word of the year. I want to be on it because they pick the shittest words. I should be on it, and I should be picking words. I'm not the poor TV anymore, but I'm not where I want to be either. Brick by brick. Justin Pickerel. Justin Pickerel. What a very lovely man. What a very good man Justin is. If you are one of my trusted people, and you'll know who you are. If I just said that to you, you'll know I'm talking about you. Look out for Justin. He's a good man. He's a good guy. And he will appreciate your help. And he will repay your faith in him with hard work. Hawk Taw, got to be up this year. Yeah, you see, but that's 2 words, Fortnite Chills. That's 2 words. It's 2 words. You big silly. You Jake, cheers. Hawk Taw ice cream. I don't know about that, Pete. I don't know. At this point, I'm thinking that isn't my top choice of ice cream. So feel free to dig in, right? Dig in. In fact, actually, right now, if you're watching it, go to the kitchen, get a spoon, then come back and eat my ass. Damn straight. I don't take y'all for granted. Yo, no, thank you. Yo, yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. Yes, please. Okay, so hot, yeah, I mean, if you just stick it and make it one word, maybe you'd get away with it, right? Maybe you get away with it. Hey. Right, so this has been a brilliant show already. We've covered Larry's show. I really like Larry. No, I know that when we watched it there, it might not have come across that way, but that's because I don't intend to come across that way. Because who gives a shit? Larry doesn't. I mean, he doesn't. I don't think he would anyway, right? I like Larry, and I appreciate what he does and how he cares about community. I think that perhaps he chose the wrong word when he said that word, durable. You know, do you think that that leaves connotations? Like, what do they need to be durable, right? Durable, that would mean that like it's long lasting. Why would it need to be long lasting? Can you just hurry up and do the thing already? Or it would need to be resilient and be able to like withstand what would need to be able to withstand what, you know, and why would it need to? Could it not just be excited, enthusiastic? Could it not be that, you know, an excited, enthusiastic, engaged community who provide you with valuable feedback and who work with you as part of a team to change the world, right? That would be what I would look for in my community, which is you guys. Larry loves lamb ice cream. Lamb ice cream. Is Larry a live person? I don't know. I think we're going to have to keep asking him until we get a true answer. I can't get to like sorbet. It's just frozen fruit, juicy, or a fancy slush. Hold on. Yeah, sorbet. Some people love it. Some people absolutely love sorbet. They try to charge the same price for sorbet as they do for ice cream. I don't know, right? Everybody has their preference. You feel free to like sorbet if you want. Right? I wouldn't spend a penny on it. Give me a lip scream. Yeah, lip scream. Yeah, give me some lip scream. I love lip scream. Sherbet. No, sorbet. Sherbet is different. Very different, Pete. Or unless you're asking me if I like it, in which case that's not this kind of show, right? Larry was in the kitchen. What did GameStop do when Larry was in the kitchen? Shall we check it out? We'll check it out. Oh, it's down again. Oh, it's down again. 1/4 percentage point there. Post market is down nearly twice as much again. Oof, it's getting absolutely rinsed here. I mean, overall, it's going sideways here on the hourly chart, but that was it trying up, got to $30, and then just boom, what happened in around there? Probably Ryan Cohen tweeting about politics because, you know, he's incorrigible. You can't stop him. And it's cost how much so far? It's 10. It was 11 billion. Now it's 10 billion. Wow. So they've lost a big chunk of the market cap. That's an expensive tweet, huh? It's costing approximately $1 billion. And the only thing he tweets nowadays is that same tweet. Dong drawings. Yeah, so you had this. This is what we anticipated. So, I mean, I suppose there's an argument to be made that he could have tweeted anything he wanted and it wouldn't have made any difference because price and the decisions were already made. And this is the target in here around $22. After which, may well go up here and testing at around $33 to $32, $33. I think it's very likely that you see it come back and test $28 in around this level. At which point, let's face it, shitloads of people are going to take all their money in GameStop. This isn't because of me, right? So if you think that it is because of me and that upsets you, then, you know, get over it, right? Get over it. They're going to take that money and going to put it into Lipson. That's what's going to happen because this has got all of the things that this has recently pissed people off about, right? It really has pissed people off. Loads of people have been super pissed off about what's been going on recently. You know, as you probably know better than I do, politics is really divisive in America, and to choose a side which is so offensive to so many groups, so many marginalized communities, so many downtrodden people, so many people born without advantage, to choose a side which is ideologically set against them isn't something so many millions and millions of people find that incredibly disheartening, and they literally feel like they've had a broken heart because of it. You know, it's broken their heart, that attitude, and so they've found a new home in Lipson, and they're going to just pile into this thing, at which point it'll probably go flying. Like, these targets won't be enough for it, and it'll probably come up here, testing it around, what, $10. I've got a line at $10, so it probably goes to there, which would be fantastic, wouldn't it? Be fantastic for people. It would be very disappointing for GameStop, despite the fact that GameStop will go up here at some point. Like, this is the thing, eh? People will think like, oh, Tradespotting, it's gone to 28, it's gone to 30, you're an idiot. It's like, no. Okay. Anyway, Lipson, you know, huge moves there. Huge moves coming. So what else then? Chat box, what do you guys think? What are you guys thinking? Look, I'm back reading the chat box. I'm changing size and stuff. Woohoo! Whoa! Delicious hedge. I agree. Parfait is delightful. Isn't Cohen Canadian? He is, yes, Karen, he is. He's Canadian. He's Canadian. So he's got about as much interest in it, like as much as me, as much to involvement in the actual process as I do. So I suppose I could say whatever the fuck I want as well, right? We don't care who it's offending. No, I could too. But I'm not going to do that. I would never say anything to upset anybody, especially in the last 5 minutes. Oh, Canada. Yeah, that's it. Oh, Canada. I think the full name is Oh, Canada. And you have to say it like that as is tradition. Go LivePerson. TV might do a promo at Labor Day too. TradingView might do a promo at Labor Day. Oh, don't mention Labor Day. Oh, don't mention Labor Day. Eh? Oh, can't talk about Labor Day. We'll upset so many groups. We'll upset all the job seekers. We'll upset all the commies, you know, and we'll upset everyone on the right because, you know, labor, right? Nobody cares about labor. It's all about the capitalists that employ those mooches who mooch off the capitalist system by getting paid a wage. That's what it is. So we'll upset everybody. We'll upset the owners of the cheese sandwich factories. We'll upset the people outside with the placards. We'll upset the people who've been like looking for a job in the cheese sandwich factory. We can't even mention Labor Day. It's too sensitive. Rocky last night talked about using Lisbon retracement. Is that superseded by the MACD indicator today? No, I was looking at the 30-minute time frame. We talk about oscillations within the current trend, and it's not got a confirmation until it goes through the center line. None of that's happened yet, and it may well be that it falls back down, tests those lower levels. That's definitely possible. We got a Labor Day where Europe gets labor-free months. Yes, we get 3 months off, 3 months paid holiday to celebrate Labor Day. And here in the Russian Navy, yeah, we're really big into Labor Day, but we can't talk about it here because it'll get upset. It'll upset people. Bologna sandwich factories are great as well. Bologna, like bolognese, a bolognese sandwich. You got something against pasta, Pete? You're ideologically against pasta, Pete. Is that a correct? Look, somebody else gifted a membership, Mr. Minna. Thank you very much, Minna. How are you doing? What are you up to? Good to see you, buddy. Always great to see you. 4th of July was similar. Oh my God, what happened on the 4th of July? Comrade Tradespotting. Yes, this is I, Comrade Tradespotting. Right, now get back to work. Gifted 1 Tradespotting membership. BMJ Shadow, how did you get on at the hospital, BMJ? What did the report say? Just give me 1 ping, Vasily. 1 ping. Is that shirt a hint hung for Raw October? Yes, it is. I'm communicating with Owl, and you'll see. 1 ping, Vasily. Legends, Maynard, and BMJ. Yes, they are legends like yourself. Takes one to know one, Jake. So what else do we want to look at? AMC went on a tearing up the charts. So it did. Where is it here? Is it not on my chart? It's so a 9.59%. This is the sort of thing Lipson does in pre-market, right? Like, it's not that exciting to people like ourselves. But also, this is a proper reversal formation. It's managed to achieve important levels. It didn't then hold them. It's only a 50% retracement here. It didn't even make it to the golden pocket. And you would ideally like to have seen it back above 576. Hasn't happened. And so it could just roll over again. Right. It could just roll over again. The debt though, it's been restructured. Yes, it's been pushed out. So those obligations that came due in 2026, which is a year and a half away, are now not due until 2029, which might seem like a long time, right? It might seem like great that it's pushed it out further. But in order to make that, give themselves that breathing room, they had to pay a dear cost. That dear cost paid to extend that debt obligation, which means they're going to be paying interest for longer. Didn't clear it off the books, of course. Still there. Will be a debt for equity swap potentially, but not at favorable levels, not incentivizing the company's board to get there either. And oof, wouldn't be the way I'd have done it, but then Adam Aaron isn't interested in anybody else taking a shot at running AMC. He wants to treat it like it's his startup and it's his little baby. And you're not getting his baby. He's keeping his baby, even if he, no, if he can't have it, no one can have it kind of deal. Right, but enough said about that, the bear. So 4 hour, there's a 200 period moving average in at around 427. This is an impulse move with a gap at $3. There's your 886 at 287. That's where it's going. KOSS. This is a piece of shit, and it's going to $5. NVDA, it's had such a funny retracement back down. Could easily go a little bit further, testing it around 102. Should be bad for the overall market, but also, it could now come back up again. That there is a harmonic. It's called a deep crab, or a crab, and it likely does have a little bit of reaction. He wants to see it back above 121. That's not all that crazy to imagine that happening. That 200 period moving average is pretty good. It's pretty good. Will they retest or break the moving averages is the question, and it's come back so far to retest it. If it is to break it, then it'll be closing a gap and filling in a golden pocket and testing these prior highs in at around 97. Very possible. But I mean, it's been in a strong bullish trend, and it's only just testing that trend line now, so that likely continues. Post-market has lost 1/3%. I don't know how it'll ever recover. What would it be in the world's biggest company and whatnot? Anyway, it's the most popularly traded stock on the stock market. So this thing, I mean, what do you want me to do about this, right? It's difficult to control Elon Musk's behavior and the impact it has on prices. I noticed that he's now vowed to defeat the woke mind virus or some other bollocks. I mean, right? Everything that happens in the world is a reaction to something else that's happened in the world. And what would be really good would be if we could all just take a breath, leave everybody to live their own life and stop interfering in it and get on with living our own. That would be really great, especially if people like him could do that with things that are sensitive topics to good people who don't need that shit, right? That would be good. That'd be good. Though I did notice he said he was spending 45 million a month supporting one particular political candidate, and then turns out that he's not at all. He's just set up a pack and like asking other people to chip in money, and I thought that was interesting. And then I was wondering, like, if he is going to be doing that and he doesn't have the liquidity himself, which he doesn't, then it will involve selling shares of Tesla. And does he hate the world that much that he would also start burning his own stock and put it into a negative spiral down the way, in which case it'll come back and test 187. But if he can resist that temptation, then it'll probably go up and test 269. If it breaks that, it'll go at 300, which I still think it probably does. This is a bit of a retracement here. It's a bit of a retracement. I thought we drew it on. Anyway, we drew on what would happen, and it was exactly that. Spy! I had a positive reaction, and then it moved down again for the final 4 hours, closing down 0.5%. VIX, though, where have I got VIX on here? VIX. Added to the volatility VIX thread on paid side of Discord with a couple of videos there about how to trade volatility indexes and some different comments on ETFs that you might be interested in. So if you're on the paid side, check it out on Discord. Held to 236. That's all well and good, right? But like, truth about this thing is, I'll just show you here. It's at resistance, like it's at resistance. So that's what that resistance looks like. It's also part of a very regimented linear trend, right? Which also looks like that. Very, 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 very looks like that. And, you know, what do you reckon, right? We talked about parallel channels very recently on the show. What do you think is going to happen, right? It's dead bloody obvious that's what's going to happen. But GME, we talked about that already. Lipson, have we talked about it? It's amazing. Have we talked about Lipson? See, very little things have the potential that this does. There's a 4-hour, 200 period moving average back at that level, around the dollar, the 90 cents level, that level, golden pocket retracement in around that level, prior weekly low, prior monthly high. That's where it'll go if it doesn't hold this 236 in at around 1.19. You have to lose it on a 4-hour time frame, then open, close, open below it, at which point it might make that move. But like that's not the direction it's been traveling in at the minute, right? Like this is a car going at 90 miles an hour along the motorway, and to start talking about how it could get to, you know, a destination in the opposite direction that it's traveling in, everybody that was listening to you would think you were weird. And that's true of also of price at this moment. So while it could get there, it would obviously have to not travel at 90 miles an hour in the opposite direction, which is what it's doing at the moment. But that can change. That can all change. And that would be a good signal to look to be here, which we started with after we'd been talking about ice cream, or before we were talking about it, but when we were investigating Larry's opinions on it. Yeah, that looks nice and pretty now. Nice and pretty. So pretty. So that's cool. Hey, what else? What else? Haji. Right into the chat box again. Oh, Zoltan, 1 month. Thanks for all you do and sharing this Lisbon opportunity with us. Yo, Zoltan, you're welcome, my friend. You're welcome.